Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's show is a very special show. We have a special guest back with us, my 10-year-old daughter, Dead Girl Talking. And she has a great story for you guys, so I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to hand you over to Dead Girl Talking now. What's tonight's story?
The Dollhouse Ghost. Ever since I was a little girl, I and my family would go and stay at my grandmother's for a weekend every other month. She lived in a little cottage which seemed to be in the middle of nowhere. She had 2 spare rooms which I and my brother used, and Mum and Dad would sleep on the sofas. Anyway, in my room was a very old dollhouse. It was quite big. I would say about 3 feet high and 4 feet wide. It was always just a normal dollhouse to me. I was 10 when it happened. I remember it was in the garden with my brother and we decided to dig a hole at the bottom of it. We used a spoon to dig it because we didn't want our grandmother knowing what we was doing. As we were digging, I noticed a small wooden doll. She was only about 3 inches tall and had a dirty pink dress on. Instantly I ran up to the house, cleaned her and placed her in her dollhouse. Later that night, my mum tucked me into bed and closed the dollhouse. I remember waking up in the middle of the night. I'm not sure what woke me up, but I will never forget what I saw. I heard a creaking noise, so I sat up and turned the bedside lamp on. Looking around to see what it was, I noticed the dollhouse was open and all the furniture and the dolls were on the floor, except from the little doll that I had found earlier that day. She was at the top of the room in the dollhouse, tucked into the little doll's bed. I remember after that I had noticed the doll, the room went cold, so I turned my lamp off and tried going back to sleep to get warm. I remember not being able to sleep. I must have been laying there for over 30 minutes. Then I heard that same creak again, followed by a sort of whisper. It sounded like a little girl. I don't exactly know what it said, but it was something like, "Thank you for bringing her home." I remember waking up in the morning and thinking it was just a dream, but to my surprise, the dollhouse was there just as it was on the night before. All the furniture scattered on the floor, and sure enough, the doll was in bed in the top room. I had never forgotten that night and never said anything to my parents or my grandmother. It was 2 years when I decided to search my grandmother's house on the internet. It turns out it was built in the early 19s, and it was once occupied by a married couple and their 7-year-old daughter. It didn't say how, but it said that the daughter had died in the back garden while she was playing. After the little girl's death, the parents moved out of their home, leaving behind a big wooden doll house, the same as my grandmother had in her home. I asked my grandmother about the dollhouse and where she got it from. She said that was already in the house when she moved in. So I guess that little girl who whispered to me that night was the little girl who died all those years ago. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but it said that she was playing in the garden when she died. So it must have been the little doll she was playing with. But it never got returned to its house, which could be the reason she thanked me. All those years ago, I brought her doll home.
Wow, that completes tonight's story with my wonderful daughter, Dead Girl Talking 666. Hope you guys enjoyed that show. Please do let us know below in the comments. Please do like and share. And remember, folks, be safe.
Not sorry.